The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
and this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
All righty, here we are. And I want to, real quick, Mike and I were having a discussion right before we came on. I want to finish that up. We were talking about how much money do we think we have wasted over the years?
Depressing. Depressing.
Really gotta be. I'm just thinking of all the money I just spent on drinking alone. My God.
Oh God,
It's best not to think about those things.
I paid money to see Dragon Ball Evolution in the theaters, and that's
so did I actually. So
Yeah.
I also paid money to see Snakes on a Plane.
Zach paid money to see Cats. I think that ends the discussion right there.
So
no,
did
I didn't.
So did I though.
No, I used my membership to the theater.
Ah,
So I'd already seen a movie earlier that month. So technically, I already paid for my movie going experience for that month.
I paid money for Cats though.
Mike wins.
I still would have paid money for Cats.
I paid money for Cats. I paid money for Cats with a boyfriend who I'm no longer with. So
I'm going to give Mike the nod on that one.
that's
I still don't think
that's completely wasted evening in every regard.
any evening spent watching Cats is not one wasted. It is an experience gained.
I would like to get wasted and go watch Cats. That might be fun. Smoke some weed if I still did that sort of thing. That would be interesting.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way.
That's a co-investment of the drug. You know, you're doubling down by investing in the drugs to help you enjoy the movie that you're also wasting money on. So it's kind of a wash, I guess, because the drugs hopefully make the movie good and the movie makes the high experience better. But
I would like to see someone. I couldn't do this because it just scares me to death. But I would love to see someone do those magic mushrooms and then watch that movie.
There was an article where a guy went and saw Cats. I think he was on LSD.
Oh my God.
I'll have to find it because he was. I don't think he stayed the whole time. He was horrified.
I can imagine.
Let me see.
That's the bravest person I've
find
ever heard of. That's amazing. I would never do that. I'm not sure I could watch it high on weed, let alone tripping my brains out.
My God.
Anyway, what the hell was I going to say? Never mind. Somebody pick up the pace here. I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, we could talk about the Seattle Kraken.
I saw a Seattle Kraken sweatshirt in the wild this weekend.
Ooh.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah. It was quickly followed up by a Henderson Silver Knights sweatshirt.
Oh, isn't that the Golden Knights farm team?
Yeah.
Oh,
they were both at Costco. One was by a patron and another was by an employee. But it was odd.
I think the Silver Knights one's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The Kraken's just going to become a thing because they're new. You know, I mean, I'm not saying like aesthetically that one's better than the other. I'm just saying that I think I'm more impressed by the guy wearing the Silver Knights shirt or person.
Yeah, well, because that one, that means you're either super dedicated to your random Vegas Knights Golden or Vegas Knights fandom.
Golden Silver Knights of Vegas of Anaheim.
Right.
And that in Orange County, California, of all things. Or the guy bought the sweatshirt not knowing what the hell it was.
You just liked the logo.
Yeah. It's got cool colors, man.
His name is like Harold, and he like, it's an H, but also a horse.
There's got to be a stainless steel team out there somewhere.
Yeah, someone once got me a Milwaukee Brewers hat because of that. Because my name's Mike.
Ah.
They just were like, oh, here's a hat with an M on it. I'm like, thanks. I've never worn it.
Civilians don't understand just what a faux pas that would be for us to do something like that. They just don't get it at all.
I mean, on the other hand, I did for years try to buy a New Orleans Zephyrs baseball hat because of the Z, because it's very rare to find something with a Z.
Yeah.
But luckily, there's a Zephyr hat company, right?
Yep.
And they make the Mighty Ducks hat that I'm wearing right now, and there's a Z on the side of the Mighty Ducks hat that I own.
Okay.
Wow,
And
there
I've
you
had
go.
people ask me like, "Oh, did you get that customized?" And I was like, "No, no, I didn't."
Zephyr makes good hats. I've only had a few of them, but I remember being very happy with them.
I also the Zephyrs, that was almost the name of the Rockies. There was a whole movement way before the Rockies even got awarded, where they were the Denver Zephyrs at the time, a AAA team, and they were like, "Look, we've got this whole package put together. When we get a team, we want them to call them this." And Denver was all for it, and then we got the Rockies instead. I think Zephyrs is a much better name.
Zephyrs would have been a much better name, but I only say that because I've never liked the Rockies uniforms. So anything else is going to be an upside.
So here's the thing about the Rockies, about the Colorado. So I think at the time, I think now we have the benefit of hindsight to reflect on that. Zephyrs would have been a far more appropriate name for them because we know now that they suck. So, being aware that they're a joke team makes it easier to be like, yeah, fuck them, Zephyrs, but what is a Zephyr? I think a Zephyr.
It has to do with wind, I think.
I thought it was like a mythological thing, like a Greek thing. Let me see.
Well, I don't know what it is. It sounds cool though.
Yeah, we don't.
Oh yeah,
what it is. We just like it.
A Zephyr
So go ahead.
It's either a soft, gentle breeze or a fine cotton gingham.
Well, there you go. Get Brandiose to get a fine cotton gingham logo of
With the wind,
scowling with a baseball bat, and we're off.
Yeah.
A light or west wind in European traditions.
Well, that's
fart.
actually pretty weak for a name. Now that I think about it, it's not great. But
I
like
don't know. I think it's got like an old timey baseball charm before names had to be super aggressive, where it's like we're the Red Stockings, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I just hate the Rockies' identity because my alma mater, University of Western Ontario, our colors are purple and white. But back when I was going there, our baseball team, which was actually very good, had the black vest, the Rockies black vest, purple undershirt combo. They just switched out the Rockies word mark with a Western word mark, and it looked awful. I hate that uniform, and so I had to look at that stupid thing all the time. And so, you know what? Just everything about the Rockies' identity is trash, and they should just go away.
I watched the game of theirs the other day on my MLB TV thing, and I thought they were wearing their normal home uniforms, the primaries, the pinstripe, the whole. And I thought these are they're nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care for them at all.
I particularly hate the regular version of the home because I don't like the silver Rockies word mark.
Exactly.
Because it's hard to read,
Well, okay. When you break it down, their home uniform is are they black or purple pinstripes? It doesn't matter.
Purple, technically.
Are they purple?
We can't even tell.
I know. I'm looking at the picture of it on the mothership because they have the All-Star Game logo story. It looks like it's a purple swoosh, and I think the pinstripes are purple.
But if
or they were black, all right. Go ahead.
But regardless, the word mark is basically gray and black, like Rockies in Times New Roman. It's such it's a nothing uniform. It's not even a generic uniform. I feel like a generic baseball uniform would at least be nicer to look at because it'd have like a nice old timey script or something. This is just someone typed out Rockies in Word and used the Arch tool.
Confirmation. It is the pinstripes are purple.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now. Wow, that's how nondescript uniforms are. I thought those pinstripes were black all these years. I never even
have they ever had an actual uniform change?
They've had a lot of alternates.
Like they had purple and black. They had the whole I feel like they did the turn ahead the clock.
They had the purple with the Colorado. They've had the black vest, but they've never actually changed their primary.
No,
anything.
That's what I know.
Right?
No rebrand. They've never rebranded in any capacity at all. I don't believe.
No.
That feels like a a real missed opportunity, like in so many ways. Like one, marketing wise, I mean, I understand why like the Yankees don't necessarily change, but when you're a team that's your expansion team from the '90s, you can change. Like you're allowed to. Look at Tampa. Like you can mess around with stuff.
Arguably, Tampa should probably go back because if you want to talk about another nothing uniform, that's the Rays.
All right, well maybe not Tampa. What about Arizona has gone back and forth.
Well, Arizona is. You know what? Arizona should just keep changing because they still haven't figured it
They'll
out.
get it right one at a time.
Yeah, Arizona is they're the Detroit Lions of Major League Baseball, to where they have a decent foundation for what their uniforms could be, but they just keep fucking it up every single time. They make headway here, but then they lose ground there. And there's always they'll bring in teal, but then they'll have some weird ass design that doesn't make any sense implemented as part of it. It's like, come on.
Well, do you remember, Greg, when you and I watched the unveiling of the current Lions, and it was such an anticlimactic letdown.
You're like, oh, those are okay, I guess. I mean, that was the strongest opinion we had. Well,
it's like I don't know. They're better than the other ones, I think.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree. We should agree that a neutral reaction is better than a volatile reaction.
Yeah, I mean that's true. It's not like what we were talking about earlier in our text chat with the Buccaneers last set, where it's like, how did this get made? At least it's not offensively terrible.
Like there's the capacity of thinking that usually goes with pro wrestling, to where with pro wrestling they say it doesn't matter if you get a good reaction or a bad reaction. The point is to get a reaction, because if you get a reaction, you have the attention of people in the conversation. Whereas with aesthetics, it's like, you are saddled with this for the next 6 to 8 years. We're not sorry. Fuck you. Here's this ugly shit. And people, the reaction and the buzz is there for that day or week. But especially in this news cycle, it's just not even worth it. I think that Nike's kind of come around to the fact that you can win the day by having weird bullshit helmets and stupid ideas, but you win the long haul of uniform design if you just don't screw things up. If you just keep them.
Well, it's like I said earlier. I kind of wish I was on the. It got fly on the wall for Nike when they did the Browns and Bucks uniforms last offseason. How was that? I'm just imagining these Nike designers crying tears as they were forced to just do the old uniforms.
Nah, I imagine what they did is they had the old uniform. They pretty much finished that pretty quick. But then the harder part was to take this uniform, and here we are talking about the fucking Browns again, is to take this uniform and essentially say, how can we make up a story as to this being our idea?
How can we Nike speak a uniform that was designed 50 years ago?
Right, just taking complete credit for it after the fact. Even though it's this is the same Browns uniform it's always been, but this brown is actually brown because of this reason, this Nike reason. It's that kind of shit. It's okay, whatever.
I thought you were gonna say, they finished the Bucks and Browns uniforms pretty quickly, and then they just went all in on the Rams.
You knew that they weren't going to let us get away with the Browns and the Bucks. They were like, we got to fuck something up, so let's go with the Rams. And let's have the guy who did the Jags helmet that one time design Atlanta's alternates. Right. And we can move on from uniforms because we've really gone down the rabbit hole here. But
it's all right.
Just let me say this really quick. To this day, still cannot believe the Rams. That was like a 1-inch putt to win the fucking Masters, and they knocked it into the water. I just don't understand how that happened. But anyway, go ahead, Zach.
I don't know how we forgot this huge news from January. But the Rockies are indeed updating their uniforms next season.
Oh, really? Well, there you go.
Yeah, this was from January of this year that there was an email sent out saying that the Rockies are getting a new uniform, quote, next year. And that was clarified to mean 2022, not 2021.
Well, you want to know how we missed it? Because they're the National League Texas Rangers. They're fucking irrelevant. Nobody cares about them. That's how we missed it.
The most I've ever spent thinking about the Rockies was that one year they got to the World Series and then just got completely owned by the Red Sox.
Oh my God, the Red Sox rolled them.
I assume you saw that the general manager finally got kicked to the curb yesterday today.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, really? And then you look at the standings, you're like, oh, the team that gave away Nolan Arenado for literally a bag of peanuts is in last place. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So I wanted to. I texted you guys earlier. I did put together some trivia questions about the NFL draft because it is draft week.
Oh.
When does it start? Thursday?
Thursday night.
If only I had known, I would have gotten a Kevin Costner avatar for the show.
Well, here, let me get us set up here. Oh shit! Hold on a minute. I got the speaker set up. Man. Never mind. Forget it.
Always a big build up.
We have the draft.
I forgot I had to change it over to here. I'll get it. We'll get it right here. Hold on a second.
Yeah, no worries.
But fuck.
What would a show be without some
folks?
Greg, we have so much time before we start to do these things. And yeah,
dude, I need to be like upstairs doing other things. I get on here at the same time everybody else does. I've just besides, it's become a trademark now. We just can't get out of our own way. So that's what we are. What can you do? It's easier when I used to edit them. I could put everything right exactly where it needed to be at the right levels. And all
yeah,
that.
but then we couldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. I'll figure it out one of these days. I promise.
There we go.
That's all right.
It's only been 8 years. Give me some time.
There you go. Now I'm ready for NFL draft talk.
All right.
So we have our helmet draft next week.
Oh, that's good.
And have you guys put together big boards, by the way?
I have, and I'm still agonizing over my my first place, my first round pick. So
yeah, you're number one overall, aren't you?
No, Zach is.
I am number one overall. I already know what I'm doing number one overall. The rest of the draft is a crapshoot.
I've got a board. I've made a board. So
of course we're all going to make boards because we're dorks that way. It's what we do. I think it's going to be interesting because we can only pick from the NFL one time, right?
Yes.
Right.
So the question becomes, and there's a lot of good alternate leagues out there. You can get some good stuff out. Like the USFL's got some really
the WFL is going to be the real.
Yeah, that's the
because I was only vaguely aware of the WFL teams until I looked them up when we started talking about it, and yikes, it's not good.
Right off the cliff pretty darn quick in that league.
Yeah, there's like a few looks that are okay, and then it just nosedives.
There's no way. Go ahead.
I thought that the wild card pick could also be an additional NFL helmet if he chose.
We made a
Oh, you're right.
We couldn't do that.
Well,
you're right.
Isn't the AAF the wild card?
I thought it was Arena. AAF's the wild. Well, we can. Because we can either do a wild card round, or we're just adding the A, or making it like I like the idea of not having. Well, I think we ran into a numbers problem. We didn't have enough leagues to fit the rounds or something like that, so we added a wild card. Right? Is that what happened?
Right. Let me pull up because I think the rules made a lot of sense. So basically, there's 8 rounds. We each have to make 8 picks. There's the NFL and all the affiliated like NFL stuff, the CFL, the USFL, the XFL, the WLAF / NFL Europe, World League, and then Arena Football League. So there's your main 7 leagues. The wild card can be from any of the leagues listed, sans the NFL, or any other professional league, such as Arena, AAF, or ones you can plug up from the depth, so long as it is a professional organization.
What about the we covered the XFL, right? Both versions.
Yeah, the XFL.
Yes, that one stands alone.
The UFL, remember that one?
Oh, the UFL actually hung on far longer than I thought it did.
I should have kept my mouth shut. I would have had the whole league to myself.
It's okay. All the helmets suck, so it's fine. You can have it.
Gonna be some slim pickings after about 3 leagues here. Really, it's going to be tricky.
It's all going to be the first round. It's because I have like my number one on my board. I'm just like terrified that somebody's going to take it first. I got that same feeling about the Cadbury cream egg, where I was just hoarding it and hoping that somebody wouldn't take it, and Mike sniped it. I think first pick.
Yeah, I sniped it. I sniped it, and then I paired it with airport maple candy. So
yeah, he really fumbled it later, so it's not a big loss.
But So I mean, I'm gonna clutch it close to keep that card very close to my chest and hope for the best. But yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun, and I'm curious to see because again, like Greg said, there's some really slim pickings, and I feel like if one of you goes a certain league first, we're all just gonna pile in and have to take that league. It's almost like the first pick sets the tone. So
it's going to be fun. I think it'll be really interesting because it's if we were just able to pick helmets, we'd be in the NFL and the USFL the whole time. That'd be pretty much it.
Yeah.
So to make it so that we can only go one league and only one NFL pick, that's going to be fun. That makes it really interesting, I think. So anyway, the NFL draft.
Did you guys want to try your hand at my trivia? There's 10 questions.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
As I said earlier,
All right.
we're at our best and we have no idea what we're talking about.
So, number one, in the 1996 NFL Draft, 3 Hall of Famers were drafted in round 1. They were an offensive lineman, a wide receiver, and a linebacker. All 3 played their entire careers for their respective teams, 2 of which were on the same one. Who were they?
I know 2 of these. Can I go?
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis was one, yes.
I'm going to go Jonathan Ogden was the other one.
Correct.
Okay.
And those are the 2 Ravens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
Mike got me because I was going to say Ed Reed, but you're right. It was Ray Lewis. Yeah.
and then the other one's a wide receiver?
Correct.
All right. 96 wide receivers.
Well, that's a tough one.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame wide receiver, 96.
Yes.
Is it Isaac Bruce?
Incorrect.
96. Let's see. So he would have played what about say 8 to 10 to 12 years, somewhere along.
I believe this player only won 1 Super Bowl.
Hines Ward?
Incorrect.
No, he was. I don't know.
I was okay. No, he wasn't.
I believe he had a mustache also.
A mustache.
I don't know if that'll help you at
Chris
all.
Carter. No, Chris Carter. That was way before. He was way before that.
No.
I don't think Chris Carter ever won a Super Bowl either. So.
Oh right.
Oh, I should have gotten this.
Yes, you should have, Zach.
God damn it.
Say it.
Marvin Harrison.
That's correct.
Oh,
Marvin,
okay.
I didn't think he was that old.
Yeah, I remember he played at Syracuse when I lived there, so he's been around a while. Yeah.
For some reason, obvious reasons, I always pair him in my head with Peyton Manning, so I just kind of assumed he was there with him.
Andy, for an additional clue, you should have said allegedly participated in a murder at a car wash or whatever it was.
All right, number 2. Since 1997, an offensive tackle has only been drafted number 1 overall 3 times. Name all 3 players. Name all 3 offensive tackles who were taken number 1 overall.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Joe Thomas?
Incorrect.
One. No, he was like 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, I think he was 2nd or 3rd to the Browns.
This is probably way off base. Orlando Pace.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
1997.
Oh, woo!
Okay. Yeah, Mike, former Ohio State Buckeye.
Okay.
Actually,
The other 2 are definitely trickier.
Okay, go ahead. So Orlando Pace. Since when's 97?
97 was Orlando Pace. Do you want the years for the next 2?
That might help, or we'll be here all night.
Okay. The second one was 2008.
Oh my God,
The
you're
third
never
one.
going to get that one.
The third one was 2013.
Oh my
I have
God, you're not
further
going to get
clues.
that one either. But
2008. I'm just going to roll the dice here because it's a name. With me, if I know an offensive lineman's name, he must be a Hall of Famer. I'm going to go with Robert Gallery of the University of Iowa.
no.
Wrong. I think he went second
Okay.
some other season. This guy was drafted by I want to say it was the Miami Dolphins in 2008.
Miami Dolphins.
Oh, geez.
Four-time Pro Bowler
Yeah, he had a good career. Did he go? Was he from Michigan, right?
from Michigan.
And the other one was selected by the Chiefs in 2013.
Jesus, I got no idea.
Yeah. No, 2008 was Jake Long.
Correct.
Oh, geez. Okay, now that you hear, you go, oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and then 2013 was Eric Fisher out of Central Michigan. He won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs, and I know he's a good lineman, but I would have never pulled his name out.
A guy from Central Michigan went number 1 overall.
As an offensive tackle, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
He's they probably got a statue of him on campus.
I would think so, yeah.
A super weird year. All right, let's see. Number 3. In what year and in what round did the Chargers originally draft Drew Brees?
Oh,
I know the round. I think it was the second round.
Second round, that's right.
And
what year?
Yeah.
2000. I want to say 2004.
I was going to go
No.
2002.
2001. You guys are close.
That's right. Yeah, I would have gone 01. Yeah.
That was the same year they drafted. In the first round, they took LaDainian Tomlinson. So they had a pretty good year that year.
Well, yeah,
It's amazing that only 3 years later they felt the need to draft Phillip Rivers.
It's
Right.
only the Chargers could have a draft where they pick both Daniel Tomlinson and Drew Brees and come up with nothing to show for it. Like,
You know why?
They made the AFC title game that one time, Mike.
yeah, that one time that was yeah, because and then Tom Brady like eviscerated them.
All right, number 4.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask a question about Breeze. Was he on the AFC Championship game team Chargers or not?
No,
that was Phillip Rivers.
That was Rivers.
Because I just can't figure out why. I mean, I'm not saying that Rivers is a bad quarterback, but I think that at that time Breeze was still not 6'5" and all that, and Rivers was. I think that's maybe why.
No, Breeze was good, but then he wasn't big. He was coming off the shoulder injury.
Right, and the whole Miami thing happened. I remember now. Yeah,
And the thing that in the Chargers defense, like when they drafted Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees back then wasn't Drew Brees as we know him today.
No, yeah,
true.
Right.
Like he
he was good.
Yeah, he was good, but nobody thought Hall of Famer.
Okay,
No.
fair enough. All right.
All right, number 4. The 1998 draft had a first round that featured 4 Hall of Famers. The number 1 overall pick was a quarterback, Hall of Famer. Number 4 overall, a cornerback. Number 21 overall, wide receiver. And number 26 overall, an offensive lineman.
I mean, number 1 overall is Peyton Manning. That's
Right.
Correct. Yeah, I figured you get that one right
Money in the
away.
Number
Yeah.
4 was a what?
Defensive back, I think he played cornerback pretty much his entire career.
Charles Woodson.
Correct.
Okay.
So the next 2 were there's a wide receiver taken number 26 overall. Or I'm sorry, number 21 overall, and then an offensive lineman. I think he played guard his entire career. Both Hall of Famers. Number 21, the wide receiver. He played. He never won a title. He played. Oh, go ahead. Do you have an idea?
You said the guard was the guy who played guard his whole career.
The guy played. I believe he played guard. He might have played tackle or center in a pinch.
Alan
time or two,
Faneca?
but I think Faneca. That's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach, look at you.
You guys should absolutely know who number 21 is. He played famously. Well, if I give the teams away, you'll totally get it.
Well, let me
He was
think.
one of the best. He was one of the best Madden combinations.
Randy
ever.
Moss
Randy Moss. Yeah, Randy Moss.
out of Marshall University.
Marshall.
Yep. All right.
Wow, it seems like he didn't play. Like it wasn't that long ago that he first started playing. 98 or would have been. I guess he had 98 season. Wow.
Yep. He's been around a long time.
Yeah.
Number 5. This number 1 overall draft pick had this scouting report highlight. Is the most physically talented quarterback since John Elway. Perhaps the
Andrew
most
Luck.
talented. Incorrect. The most physically talented to ever play. the
Ryan
position.
Leaf.
Ryan Leaf.
Incorrect. His arm makes Brett Favre look like Danny Werfel. Compares favorably to Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, this has got to be Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell. Yes.
Oh wow, fantastic! Who doesn't love a Jamarcus Russell?
I tell you what, man, the guy had all the tools. I don't know what. I mean, I didn't really follow the Raiders.
He just loved his purple drink too much.
I guess, yeah, because
He was 260 pounds as a rookie. Guy was fucking enormous.
Yeah, he was like, Big Ben Roethlisberger is a good comparison, except I think he had a better arm. I mean, I watched Jamarcus Russell when he was at LSU throw a ball. Jesus, I never seen somebody throw a football that far, that hard. It was unbelievable. But
Yeah, the main thing is in the scouting report is funny because after all this John Elway stuff, they talk about how like we'll routinely throw into double and triple coverage.
That's a Brett Favre move if you think about it.
I guess, but just doesn't have not a leader and all this stuff. It was just bad. Okay, number 6. Keep things rolling here. This quarterback went number 1 overall. He played college ball in Florida. That doesn't mean he necessarily went to Florida, but he went to Florida to play college football. He was 6'5". He went on to make 2 Pro Bowls, and he played for 8 different teams. And he played in what many consider one of the greatest football games ever played. Can you name this player? Number 1 overall pick, quarterback.
One of the greatest games ever played.
8 teams. Yeah. Wow.
8 teams for the state of Florida, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Born in New York.
Jim Kelly?
Played college. Incorrect.
No, because he played in a lot more than just okay. And he didn't play for.
I'm trying to think of like Miami quarterbacks.
Yeah,
like not Dolphins, but college quarterbacks.
Testaverde.
Vinny Testaverde. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Mike, way to go.
Yeah, well done. Because he went to Miami, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Threw into triple coverage all the time. Jeez.
That guy really redeemed his career. Like I was looking up some of the stuff about him earlier today when I was putting this together, and like people were just they tore him to shreds. Like after he was so bad his first year with Tampa.
Oh yeah,
and just stunk the league up. But he kind of redeemed himself. And the game I was referencing was the Monday Night Football game.
Oh the big comeback, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say about him. He that Miami team that he played for his senior year was like considered one of the all-time great teams. And he went through, I think, 5 interceptions against a Penn State team that had no business beating Miami, and it was horrible. And then he kind of just picked it right up where he left off when he got to the NFL. But anyway, next question.
He played for 21 years in the NFL. Testaverde.
Yeah, he played a long time.
Okay, here's
he finish up with the Panthers or something? He had a weird career.
Yeah.
I remember at one point he came back to the Jets like he was retired, and then the Jets called him up and like, we need a quarterback, and he came off the couch and had like a decent game.
Yeah. He let's see. Let me think of all the teams he played for. It was Tampa.
The Jets.
The
Browns, Ravens.
Browns and Ravens.
Panthers.
Yep.
The other two.
Did he think the most popular teams in the league?
Cowboys and Steelers.
Cowboys, right?
And Packers. No, not Packers, right?
Patriots.
He played for the Patriots?
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
2006.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. All right.
He played
Number
3
7.
games with the Pats. Didn't start any of them. Threw 3 passes. Completed 2 of them, one for a touchdown. So,
Wow. Okay.
Bill Belichick loves that stuff, though. In number 7, in 1999, the top 3 picks were all quarterbacks, as were picks 11 and 12. Of those 5 players, name as many as you can.
I can start.
Sure.
99.
Tim Couch, Akili Smith.
Yep.
Who was the third?
Tim
one?
Couch was 1. Akili Smith was 3 overall.
Or 3. Who was number 2?
Well, 1 and 3 off to a great start for this draft class.
McNabb?
Donovan McNabb was number 2 overall. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Donovan McNabb right now leading the class.
Yeah, well, when you started. All right, go ahead.
Akili Smith and Tim Couch. Okay. Who are the other 2?
The other 2, one was taken by the Vikings, one was taken by the Bears.
Vikings, Dante Culpepper.
Correct.
Okay.
Bears.
Oh wow! I'm trying. I can't remember the Bears.
I just looked it up. Oh no, we're not getting this.
He's bad.
He's not getting this
super
one.
bad.
Tell me the college you went to. I bet you I can get it.
UCLA.
Oh shit. I know this. It was what's his? Oh god.
What's his face?
No. Okay. It was 99 UCLA. The fuck was his name?
He wore number 8.
Oh god damn it. Cade. Never mind. I can't remember his name.
His name was Cade. Oh.
Cade McNown.
I was good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Cade McNown.
Yeah. Wow. That guy went
terrible
in the first round.
Cade McNown sounds like a name the computer spits out at you when you've played too many seasons on Madden franchise.
Right.
Okay, moving up a few years for number 8. In the 2011 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars swapped draft picks with the Washington 32s, which moved the Jags up to pick 10, where they selected quarterback Blaine Gabbert. The 32s, however, with the 16th overall pick, took an outside linebacker who went on to be a 3-time Pro Bowler and is currently the franchise's all-time sack leader. Who is this player?
London Fletcher?
Incorrect.
Oh, somebody moving a refrigerator down the stairs somewhere?
No, I didn't realize that right now is when the trash people come.
Oh, okay.
My window is right next to the dumpster, and the instant you press the song to start the show, I heard blah 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 blah, and I was like, "Oh, are you fucking kidding me?"
All right. So, what was the question again?
So the Jags traded up to take Blaine Gabbert with Washington.
Oh,
Washington. They swapped first-round picks. And Washington, with the 16th pick, took an outside linebacker who's like the all-time sack leader for the Washington team.
And it wasn't. I got no idea on that one.
He's currently a free agent. I think he played as recently as last year. I want to say has only played for the same. He's only played for Washington ever.
God, I had no idea.
No. All right, going once, going twice. It was Ryan Kerrigan.
Oh, I would have never. I would have never gotten that.
He's Washington's all-time sack leader.
Yeah, 95 and a half sacks.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
All right. So this one's kind of a multi-part. We'll just run down it here for number 9. Name the universities that have the most players drafted by each position. So I'm going to go by position here.
Okay.
And you just name the school. Okay. Who has the most quarterbacks? Which college?
Ohio State.
I'm going to go Notre
Incorrect.
Dame. Notre Dame.
No, not Notre Dame.
Miami.
New.
Michigan.
Stanford.
No. California school.
USC.
USC. 17
Wow.
quarterbacks drafted.
That makes sense.
Florida State and Stanford both have 15 apiece. Surprisingly, in third place is Washington.
Huh.
Weird. I would never have thought of them as
Well, those quarterbacks are inspired to great play by the iconic jaws of Husky Stadium.
It's like that article I sent you from the SI cover from 10 years ago. Jake Locker, what a legend.
I'm still disappointed he didn't turn out better. I thought he was going to be
Yeah, me too.
You guys want to try running backs?
I'm going to go USC on that one.
USC is second with 39.
Okay,
Alabama?
Incorrect.
I was going to go Penn State. Then would be my
Ohio State.
Penn State is tied with Oklahoma for 36 in third place. Ohio State is 34. Alabama is 29.
All right.
Big Ten school.
Oh, Big Ten.
Oh, running back school.
Wisconsin.
Nebraska.
No, Nebraska. Nebraska has 40.
Oh,
Really? Huh.
Yeah, back in the day, they had guys that were.
Yeah, the triple option and all that. Sure.
Yeah. That was back when they were in the old, what was it called back then? The Big 8, I think. It wasn't even like the Pac or the Big 12 or whatever it is. But yeah, way back in the day.
The Norman Osborn years. Yeah.
Oh, they had like Mike Rozier came out of there.
Tom Osborne, Norman Osborn. That's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I don't know. It could be a running back.
Mike Rozier's the one I can think of off the top of my head. He was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Notable one was Roger Craig.
Oh, Roger Craig, yeah. Guy that
looks like
it should be.
That's Amon Green was another one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wide receivers. There's 2 schools tied with 40.
I'm trying to think of all the wide receivers the Lions drafted.
I'm going to go with Miami Hurricanes as one of those 2 teams.
Miami is one of them, yes.
Okay.
So Andre Johnson is the one that they mentioned is the most notable, the highest selection. USC, it was USC's the other one.
Well, with Miami, you had Michael Irvin. You've got, there's a ton of them from Miami.
Right. Win Swan was another one. There you go.
USC, right? He was USC. Keyshawn Johnson, USC. Wow.
Yes. Those are the ones that are on my list here.
All right.
Okay. So tight ends, give it a whirl.
Oh boy, that's a tough one.
I don't. Alabama. I don't know.
No, Now think about. So the weird thing is with some of these, you got to think about how long the NFL's been around and what college is really good back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, Princeton then.
Army.
Yeah. Notre Dame has the most tight ends drafted, 21.
Oh yeah, we got Dave Casper is one I can think of off the top of my head, the only one.
Offensive lineman also Notre Dame.
Back
They are
when
the
Rutgers was a powerhouse.
Did that ever actually happen?
I'm sure back in like the ye old days of college football.
Don't let the name Rutgers fool you. It's New Jersey State University. Everybody thinks Rutgers. It must be. It's like no, it's a fucking.
Well, it doesn't have like I don't know. Like they're in the Northeast. They have like Rutgers. It sounds like an Ivy League.
I know, but it's anything but. Believe me. I think they're like academically on par with like the University of Toledo, so it's not like any big deal. Anyway.
I'll just move along here because defensive lineman is also Miami. They have the most offensive linemen taken in the draft. Linebackers, can you guess which college has the most linebackers taken?
Miami.
Penn State. Of course, it's Penn State.
Linebacker U.
Yeah. And finally, defensive backs. Who is the leader for defensive backs? I'm curious to see if one of you guys can get this.
UCLA.
No, none of those. LSU is 39. The leader is 53. Big Ten.
Big Ten? Ohio State?
Yep. Your Ohio State Buckeyes, 53.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They probably all took
Sean Springs, Jack Tatum. So anyway, there you go.
Jack Tatum, yeah.
And finally, we'll finish up with number 10, and it's very topical with this week's draft. Let me see. In this week's draft, potentially 5 quarterbacks are going to go in round 1. The only year that more quarterbacks were taken in the first round was what year?
83.
Correct.
I think I can run up. You had Elway.
Yep.
Tony Eason. No, I got him wrong. It's the wrong guy. Or is that right? Yeah, Tony Eason, Ken O'Brien, Jim Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
God, there was a ton of them that year.
I don't know some of these names.
Was Dan Marino in that draft class?
Yeah, it's Dan Marino. There's Todd
Blackledge.
Todd Blackledge is what I was thinking for Penn State. Yeah, that's what I was trying to come up with. Yeah.
So there you go, and then you got Tony Eason. So yeah, there you go. Well done, guys.
Okay, I guess we're not.
That was it.
Thought we were.
There's no way that there's too many quarterbacks being listed for this year's first round. Like.
It's gonna happen, dude.
I know it's gonna happen, but I'm saying like in terms of like which of them are gonna be productive. It's not gonna be.
Here's my question to you guys. After Trevor Lawrence, so I think we can probably agree is easily the best prospect of the bunch, right?
Yeah.
After him, if you've got the number 2 pick, who do you take at quarterback?
Who do I take?
Yeah, do you
Who says it has to be a quarterback?
Well, okay, who's the number 2 quarterback? I should say, not the number 2.
Zach Wilson is by consensus the number 2. He's pretty much going to the Jets on every mock draft you'll see around the internet.
I don't think I would take him though.
I don't BYU, right?
And I don't think I want Fields either.
I think with Fields, and I'm guilty of this as anybody, I think he's certainly got the size and the arm and all that, but he doesn't look like the prototypical quarterback. He kind of his throwing motion's not quite. He just looks a little odd, and I think that scares people. He's a hell of a good player. I mean,
who do the Jets have at QB currently?
They traded away Darnold. So
yeah, Darnold's in Carolina. Yeah, then they're probably going for him.
Probably one of the McCowns, I would guess.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, they're drafting a QB. I think that like once they got rid of Darnold, that was extremely clear.
You know what else?
They have Mike White and James Morgan. I have no idea who they are. That's the only ones on the roster right now.
You know what else I think hurts Fields too is the guy the 32s had. I can't even think of his name now. They cut after like they picked him in the first round. Ohio State quarterback.
The
hell was his name? Boy, that man.
It really left an impression, right?
You're really going to obscurity.
It's the guy.
Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I think, and I did this too, but I think too many people think that Fields is just Haskins 2.0, and I don't know if that's necessarily
Haskins. We're not here to play school.
No, that was Cardell Jones.
Oh, okay.
Your former team, the Chargers, he ended up with.
Well, last time I saw him, he was playing with the
XFL,
the DC Defenders of the XFL.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. After Lawrence, if you've got to get a quarterback, who do you go with? I mean, you can make a case for all of them, I think.
Well, so here's the thing with like Zach Wilson, I don't know, probably 6 months ago, was looking to go between picks like 17 and maybe the early second round. Trey Lance, he was going to be somebody who went in the late second, maybe even falling into the fourth round. Mac Jones, easy second round pick, was a lot of people's thoughts about Mac Jones. Kellen Mond, another guy who may fifth, sixth round, potentially undrafted. And now because people basically are wanting to find the next great quarterback, obviously, but they want to find who's the Chiefs quarterback? It's killing me right now. Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes, a name that will haunt me forever for the rest of my life. They want to find the next Mahomes. And so they look for these guys who look anything like Mahomes at all. And they feel like it's worth the gamble. So San Francisco's now in the top 3. And Atlanta at number 4.
They're in the top 3.
Rumors that they're going to trade them.
San Francisco's in the top 3, and Kyle Shanahan can't guarantee that anyone in the world will be alive by Sunday. So
yeah, I mean that's
I mean
anybody could be on their team by Sunday.
I mean, I guess that's true. We all could die by then. So
was it Andy that texted earlier? Cracked me up. It was, I got it on my phone. Hold on, this is so fucking funny. Let me quote this really quick. Coach, we were looking at a concussion, upper or lower body. What details about this injury can you provide? All I know is one day all men will perish in the fires of a dying sun.
Coach, if answering questions on if Garoppolo will still be a 49er by Sunday, I can't guarantee that anybody in the world will be alive.
Right.
It's really stupid. Like if you look at a lot of power rankings for just like big boards, I get it that quarterback, is such a commodity in the world of sports. And obviously if you nail that quarterback pick, then you're fucking golden, but like putting a guy like Kellen Mond, who's maybe maybe a backup at like his best. Some people have him going in the first fucking round, which is just drunken belligerence. Like if you took Kellen Mond in the first round or the Davis guy out of Stanford, like what the hell's the matter with you?
Is this where Andy curses the Bears to pick one of those two guys?
I tell you the guy that I don't understand, because if you look at the history of this school with quarterbacks, Alabama.
Mac Jones.
Okay, there was Joe Namath, Ken Stabler, a guy named Ken O'Brien, or Richard Todd that played for the Jets, and that's like I run out at that point. It's like I can't think of one that had a
Tua.
Not. I see the jury's still out on him a little bit.
Yeah,
he could be, but yeah.
I mean, besides Joe Namath, like there's only like one other one.
Ken Stabler actually
Ken Stabler?
name it. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl with the Raiders in the 70s. But yeah, he's the only other one I can think of that were both good.
And like, yes, those are two Hall of Fame all-time guys, but like
there should be more.
It
feels like there should be more.
Back, like
particularly over the last 20 years. Like
it's not.
Where they've basically been the Patriots of college football.
Yeah, the best players to come out of Alabama over the last 20 years are running backs and defensive backs.
Well, here's the thing. I think that when you've got a team that's as loaded as Alabama and you're playing quarterback, that's like having Jerry Rice on one side, Randy Moss on the other. Your running back is, I don't know, LaDainian Thomas. You know what I mean? You're off. It's easy. And I don't mean to disparage Mac Jones, but it's one thing when you're the most talented team by a long shot in all of college football. Yeah, quarterbacking's got to be easier than it is to do it for, say, the Jacksonville Jaguars, for example, or some other shit team, the Bengals. Well, they're, but you know what I mean? It's so don't overestimate his ability, because he's thrown to all pros at every position essentially in college.
Yeah. Two others that you need to mention: Jalen Hurts, Alabama.
Okay.
AJ McCarron. So
Jalen Hurts again with Jalen Hurts though, like I think we brought this up before. Is he an Alabama quarterback or is he an Oklahoma quarterback?
Right. Yeah.
What is he?
Probably, I'd say Oklahoma more than anything.
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, he took
Alabama to the national title game as a freshman and as a sophomore.
I think honestly, again, I'm not disparaging the talent of any of these guys. Vinny Testaverde today could probably take that team to the national title game. The way they're just loaded. I don't know. I think you've got to consider that when you're looking at a quarterback. How good are his players around him? And when you've got, I mean, how many forget first round, how many draft picks are on that Alabama team right now on the offense?
Oh, God.
A bunch, right?
Many, yeah.
So,
like, as I'm looking through like the other quarterbacks that are listed, I mean, Trey Lance is interesting, but I don't know anything about the guy.
He's the North Dakota State guy.
Yeah. I think
we've learned our lesson with that with Carson Wentz, haven't we?
But Carson Wentz wasn't bad until he got hurt.
Is he worth a first round pick? I guess is my question. Wentz, I'd say yeah, okay, but I don't know where they drafted him. Was he like top 10? I don't remember, but
he was.
Well,
right?
You can't. He was number 3, but you can't forget Josh Allen. Josh Allen was, he was from Wyoming, and so like and Josh Allen's Wyoming college film was fucking amazing. Like that guy, you could tell he was definitely unpolished, but you could tell he was a man playing among boys.
Throw that football over them mountains.
There, exactly. But Trey Lance, like again, he's just kind of a dude, I mean, he's pretty good. Like it's the like intangibles you like about him, but he's going top 5. What?
Nah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that these guys aren't all worthy draft picks. I'm saying that once you get past Trevor Lawrence, it's really you're rolling the dice at that point. I think no matter who you take.
Honestly, I think
Bears. Go ahead, Zach.
Of the guys that are a little bit further down the list, but not like too far. I like Kyle Trask from Florida. He could throw a really good ball. Kept Florida, in it with some great passing performances over the last year. So if I had to go, I think if you're not number 1, I would not be like beyond Trevor Lawrence, like we said. I don't know if you can be truly comfortable with any of these guys. Like this is a situation where if I was a GM that had the 3rd or 4th overall pick, I would trade it backwards.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of other assets and pick up a QB later in the first round or in the second round or something. Because I don't think it's worth gambling something as valuable as a top 5 pick on a guy that you don't know is going to be your number 1.
Right.
I
agree completely.
And if you can trade that back to get other stuff and find your number 1 QB in different ways, I'd do that before I'd. Because here's the thing with the Jets, right? It was only 3 years ago that they picked Sam Darnold. 3 years, and they're already looking for the next franchise QB.
Yeah,
like you can't go through this process over and over again. You just can't. The team will never recover. And I mean, the Jets on their own are in a death spiral that is going to be very hard to come out of, even if Zach Wilson is what they want him to be. I would play for the assets rather than the one guy.
An endless death spiral could pretty much be the slogan the Jets put on their yearbook.
So just to back up Zach's point, there has been a lot. I would not be surprised if on draft day there are a ton of trades back, because I think a lot of GMs are positioning themselves for next year because the draft pool was so shitty this year due to COVID that a lot of players, you're not getting the best of the best here in 2021. You're getting some pretty good, a lot of second round picks that are suddenly going to be top 10.
Well, like
because the pool is so bad.
Ohio State, I mean, you've got essentially 6-7 games to work with. I don't remember if he started the year before or not. I don't remember if that was still Haskins. I don't remember. But with Fields, you've got about 7 games to work with, and that's it from this season. So
he played 8 games this season. He played 14 games for Ohio State last season.
Okay, so all right.
And he played in parts of 12 games with Georgia the year before.
Oh, all right. Well, he's got quite a bit of experience. I wasn't aware. But no, I'm with you, Zach. I think if you can trade down and load up, and you go, well, there's this guy. What was the guy you got brought up? Andy said he's like a second rounder at best. Yeah, if you can find a guy like that, you go, we'll take a flyer on in the second or third round and see what happens.
But the problem is, like, you look at the teams that are up there right now, and obviously the Jaguars are taking Lawrence, but then the Jets they got rid of Sam Darnold. They said nope, we need a quarterback now. And so I thought that they were in a spot to trade backwards, get more assets, and go another year with Darnold before really deciding that, you know what, he isn't the guy. Because I think Darnold still has some life in him somewhere. But now they're in a spot where they have to take Zach Wilson, or they're not going to have a guy to throw the football this year.
Yeah.
And then the Niners, I mean, they still have Garoppolo, but like all signs point to them not wanting him there anymore. So it seems like, especially with them trading up, that why else would they go that high if only to get your next quarterback?
But
the teams have already kind of positioned themselves in that top part to say we're getting our quarterback right now, and we're not doing the asset thing.
They're number 3, right? The 49ers.
Yeah.
Yes, they traded with Houston.
So out of everyone, that they could potentially get at number 3, are any of them better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
That's the trick.
Maybe.
See, because
maybe
you look at it like let's
you don't know.
They had a lot of injuries last year, the 49ers. So they get healthy this year, and Garoppolo gets healthy, and I mean they could really play themselves right out of having another chance like this again. So what do? If I'm picking number 1 as Trevor Lawrence, I'm going, okay, this is a no-brainer. But at this point, I go, I don't know. Let's give Garoppolo a shot if we're good. I mean, they made the Super Bowl with the guy, a year before last or whatever it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's not
Longer than that, yeah.
terrible. So I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
They cursed him. They cursed him that Super Bowl because they put him in a commercial with Joe Montana and Steve Young.
Yeah, well, that probably was.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they're not even thinking quarterback. Maybe they're just doing all the smoke and mirrors, and they're gonna get the lineman out of Oregon, Sewell, or a wide receiver, of which there are many to choose from.
I don't know.
The best player in this draft besides Trevor Lawrence is Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida. He's the second. If he went third overall, I would not be surprised. But from everything I've heard, the rumor being put around there was that it was Mac Jones, the 49ers are targeting, but they've recently been all about Trey Lance. Like you said, Zach, this is it's smoke screen season. This could all just be horseshit. We don't know, But there's just a lot of the thing that pisses me off about all this is that the Bears are connected to every trade rumor because this dumbass stupid franchise is going to trade up to number 4. They're going to give up all these assets, which in the year where backloading is the obviously smart thing to do. They're going to trade it all so they can move up to take a 4th round quarterback in round 1, like the dumbass franchise they are. And then after this year, they're going to fire everybody.
And then the guy who was drafted before him is going to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Probably. Yeah. So I don't know. I just, it wounds me. I'm trying to be optimistic, but when people are saying Atlanta's hey, we got a few suitors on the phone for that 4th overall pick, I'm just don't you fucking do it. Don't you do it.
Someone's got to hold the Bears GM back he's reaching for the phone.
I just thought about this. This is the first year, and I don't remember how long where I'm going into the draft going, if the Browns get some linebackers, that'd be cool. That's really my only concern. That's pretty nice.
This is the first draft for me in a long time where I've said, "Oh wait, no, it's the same as all the drafts where the Rams don't have any first round picks." So it's fine.
That's true.
Our first round pick is Matthew Stafford.
I just hope the Browns take 7 linebackers.
Has he adjusted to having sun in his life yet?
He was in a fun video for the Rams the other day, so I think so.
Oh, that's nice.
I forgot about that. Yes, that'd be interesting.
So because they're doing the draft remotely this year, have you seen some of the draft houses that some of these teams have?
I'm not happy with any of them because I liked it last year where we saw all of the coaches, GMs houses.
Yeah, well, the Rams have this plush cliffside estate in Malibu online.
They couldn't be outdone by Cliff Kingsbury last year. They had to go, okay.
What, Cliff Kingsbury's fucking football war room?
No, he had something out of Better Homes and Gardens or some shit he was sitting in. It was wild. It was cool.
And they've brought in an actual ram.
There's actually going to be a ram.
Is it a Los Angeles ram or could it possibly be the Ontario ram? Because that'd be great.
There is an Ontario, California, and they might have a ram.
Oh.
Now the question is, can the Buccaneers match that by bringing in a Somali pirate?
Maybe if they can't, they should. I mean, whatever. Just how to do it.
Awkward, yeah, that'd be weird.
Fuck you, Rams. We got a real Buccaneer.
So wait a minute. So they're having the draft in Cleveland this year, and it's just basically going to be staged for television?
Yes.
I thought there were going to be people there.
Well, yeah. There's some people there, but like the teams and all that are just back at home.
Oh, they're okay. They're not going to do the on-site thing or whatever. Or
I just really like.
They sorry, Mike. They announced that Goodell has the vaccine, so he's going to be able to hug the players.
yeah.
I still would want to hug Roger Goodell.
No, and
Well, no, yeah.
oh, good. I get to hug Dracula. Thank you.
But the one thing I liked about last year's, aside from seeing everyone, like all of the coaches at GM's houses, which was quite fun, I liked seeing how Roger Goodell's like sweater vest changed midway through the night for no explained reason.
Oh my.
So let's see. So there's going to be they're going to let 50,000 fans attend the draft. There's going to be 13
50,000?
players that will actually be there. There's going to be 50,000. Yeah.
Where are they
held
held
outdoor?
thing?
It's going to be in an outdoor amphitheater on the shore of Lake Erie.
Oh, well,
And it looks like pretty much every quarterback, but it looks like Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones will all be there. Trevor Lawrence, of course, will not. He knows what he's doing. He might as well just be in Jacksonville at this point. But so there's going to be a handful of players there, but almost all of them will be virtual.
okay. All right, I don't plan on going to it because, I mean, especially letting 50,000. Jesus Christ, that's just the traffic alone would be a nightmare.
I mean, but Greg, they made such a cool logo.
I don't care.
Did they?
I have
No.
okay.
No, it was a Cleveland logo that managed to not use a guitar, which was
Well, I think whoever came up with that idea needs to be fired immediately. Everything's about the guitars now.
Well, the NFL draft logo this year I thought was really bold. It's like a blue guitar pick. Actually, it's just a shield.
I was going
It
to
says
say
draft in
the guitar
2020.
thing. Do you have a let's if you can throw it up? I want to see. I bet it's a guitar pick because it's Cleveland and
It is not a guitar pick. It is a guitar pick if you want it to be.
okay.
But really, it's just the same shield they've had for years now, but with 2021 in it instead of 2020.
Okay.
So real, the NFL for years has gone all out with their designs.
I'm just surprised letting 50,000 people in. That's a lot. That's like
it's outside, and
yeah, I get that. I mean, I'm not worried about the health concerns. That doesn't really worry me. It's just like that's a shitload of people to put down. If you guys have ever been there, if you're not putting them in a stadium somewhere, it's like where the hell are they going to put them all?
Well, do you remember the ones that they did in Philly and Nashville the last couple of years?
Well, yeah,
where they're just like packing them down a street, and it's like you're 3 miles down the road, but you're still technically part of the NFL's crowd, and it's like.
Well, I just hope it's nice out there Thursday.
Didn't they used to do it at Rockefeller Plaza every year?
They did it at Radio City Music Hall.
Radio City Music
Yeah.
Hall.
Okay, then go back to doing that.
No, but see, Mike, this is way too much money to be made now because now teams
Oh.
can bid on hosting the draft, and
Oh.
you get 500,000 people to show up. And
I hope I hope that if Tampa ever gets the draft, they just I don't know, they put it along the same waterway that Tom Brady almost lost the Lombardi Trophy in, and the Lightning had a COVID parade with.
I got to see if the Indians are home Thursday night because this could be a colossal clusterfuck if they are.
I would assume that they've planned it to not be, but
You would assume a lot of things about that stuff. But that's never the case.
Let's see, MLB.com. Let's check out the schedule.
Let's see, April 29th. Oh no, the Indians are not. They're off that day, so that worked out.
yeah, probably on purpose.
No,
and even the weekend they're on the road, so.
There have been days like during football season where the Indians will be playing at the exact same time the Browns are. 1:00 starts, both teams, and I don't know how anybody gets to the game. I don't because it's hard enough to get to one or the other.
Yeah.
When if you guys you've never been there, but there's like one way. Well, there's 2 ways in, 2 ways out. That's it, and it's just a
But
disaster.
anyway, it's a made for TV event in which they want people to attend. So
right.
you know.
Come watch us make a television show.
I can't think of any besides if it was in LA and the Rams had the number 1 overall pick. I would see no reason whatsoever to ever attend an NFL draft.
I
no,
would go for the shops and stuff where you could buy merchandise. That might be kind of cool. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say I was just going to say I cannot think of a more made for television event in sports than a draft. Not necessarily just the NFL draft, but just a draft in general. Like, right. I don't understand what the point of being there would be.
Stuff.
I thought for Jets fans there was a big deal for a while because they'd show all the angry Jets fans. And they would, be like, "Ooh, the Jets going to take her."
You can
for the Jets, it's tradition of booing your management. I get it.
I mean, and that made sense if it was in New York every year, right? Like the Jets fans would show, but these days you can just show the crowd at any Jets home game if you want to see angry Jets fans.
I just it'd be funny. The Browns pick, I think 22nd or something like that. So the crowd's gonna be like, well, whatever. Hopefully get a linebacker. That's it. Okay.
They were banking on the Browns sucking again, and here they are.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know. I just I don't even know if I'll watch it because really
it's such a tedious thing to watch now.
Yeah.
I'll last have it on. But
this is like me with exhibition football or baseball. I was going, I'm not going to watch it. And then sure enough, there isn't to be right fucking there watching it, just like I do everything else. I was like, what's going on in the draft? And once they've got you, you're hooked. That's it. If they can get you to tune in for one pick, you're going to be there for 15. And they know that. That's why they do it.
Well, because last year it was the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Zach.
No. Go ahead. I was going to cut you off.
It's just last year it was so much filler because every player had this dramatic sob story that needed to be told between picks. It made the broadcast just fucking crawl. And I really hope they get away from that this year and just kind of move things along. I doubt they will, but it could really stand to be expedited after last year's tedium.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll learn anything from the Oscars last night, which were apparently last night, by the way?
I watched. I saw every minute of the what they called the Oscars last night.
I found out that the Oscars were last night this morning when I got a news alert about who won. And I was like,
basically same here. I saw it on Twitter, I think. I'm like, I wonder who got the best movie. And it was Nomadland, right?
Yeah, which is on Hulu if you want to take in the best picture of the year.
Yeah, I've watched about 2/3 of it. I haven't finished it. I'll be honest. I liked what I watched of it. It was good. I just this is they're shooting people and shit. This is more fun.
Well, instead of watching the Oscars or watching any Best Picture nominee last night, I watched some high quality movies. I watched some Friday the 13th movies last night, so that was time well spent.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
I watched Mortal Kombat on Friday.
Oh, that movie's fun.
It's terrible but great.
Yeah.
It's every I didn't expect it to be high theater.
It's the most fun shitty movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, here's the thing. It's not even about Mortal Kombat.
Oh no.
And what I mean by that is the whole concept of Mortal Kombat is the tournament for the fate of the world. The entirety of this movie takes place before the Mortal Kombat tournament.
The entirety of the tournament, the entirety of the movie is the antagonist going, I don't want to do this stupid tournament. Let's fuck it up before the tournament happens.
Let's kill all of Earth's champions before the tournament so that there's no tournament and therefore we win.
And as a result, there's no tournament, which goes against the point of the entire franchise.
But it definitely leaves you ready for Mortal Kombat 2, the debut of Johnny Cage. So
yes.
I'm ready for that.
It's dumb, but when they're going when the guy goes flawless victory to himself, I'm just happy. Just happy.
He didn't get hit in the match, Mike. He had a flawless victory.
He did have a flawless victory.
He cut open the vampire lady with his buzzsaw hat. He wins.
Yeah. That's right there, folks. Cutting open the vampire lady with your hat.
So just to clarify, I was reading up on because the Oscars are no stranger to having disastrous broadcasts. Last night in particular was really interesting. And Zach, since you watched, you can elaborate. But typically they announce Best Picture last.
Yeah, what the hell is that all about?
It's the biggest award of the night. It is usually announced last to give you the big send-off with triumphant movie-making people celebrating movies. Yeah.
Right. And in this case, what happened was they did it second to last so they could have Best Actor close the show.
It was third to last. It was they did it with like 20 minutes left. They did best picture, and then they went to commercial break, and then they came back, did Best Actress, and then finished on Best Actor. Because they always pair those together. They rearranged some of the awards earlier in the night, not to any like. The only one that was most dramatically moved earlier was Best Director is usually saved for the end as well. They usually do director and then actor, Best Picture to kind of give you like the crescendo of the person in charge of the movie, the people at the head of the movie, and then the movie. Right. And they moved director to about halfway through, which is, I understand what they were kind of trying to do, where it's like to keep people interested, right? You kind of plant some of the bigger awards at different spots early on to kind of string people along and keep them around instead of like doing 7 editing and costume and sound design awards in a row. So but those I didn't notice too much. Those are fine. But the only thing that makes sense for moving Best Picture to not be the last one was it seemed like the Academy was banking on Chadwick Boseman winning Best Actor.
Say the same thing exactly.
But the problem is the Academy doesn't know who won until the envelope is opened.
Right.
The only people that know are the accountants that count the votes.
So Anthony Hopkins is 83 years old.
Yeah,
he doesn't go to award shows anymore.
No, yeah. he hasn't for years. He
wasn't even there to get the trophy.
No, that's the thing. So here's the other weird part about it. So the way that they had kind of played up all the acting categories all night was instead of showing clips from the movies that these people were in to show you how they did a really good job at acting, they had the actors that were presenting the awards talk to and about the actors, about their inspiring performances and what they meant. So they did that for the supporting actor, supporting actress. They did that for Best Actress. But the way they also do these awards is the winner of last year's award comes out to present this year's award. So the winner of Best Actor last year was Joaquin Phoenix, notable weird guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he goes out to announce the award, and he's like, they told me to stand up here and talk about what inspires me and when I feel like I've really nailed a performance. And I don't know when that is. I just kind of go do my job. Let's go through the nominees. And then instead of talking about the performances of the actors, he just listed every actor. And the Oscar goes to Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins isn't here. The Academy accepts the award on his behalf. And then they cut to Questlove. It's like, all right, well, that's the show. See you later. And it's like, wait, what?
Stick around for the after party.
So question, if this was supposed to be like the big finale to the show, why did they entrust it to Joaquin Phoenix?
Right.
They thought that it would be Chadwick Boseman winning. He obviously wouldn't be there to accept either, but someone in theory would have gone and accepted in his stead, and they would be able to have a tribute to a great actor who died in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
With a tragic story and all that.
And instead, 83-year-old Anthony Hopkins, who probably forgot that it was the Oscars.
He was like, wait, I was in that movie? Cool.
No, I haven't seen it, but from the people that have seen it, they've said that it's the best performance of his entire career, which is great, but it's also a shame now because nobody's going to remember it. They're only going to remember it as the time the Oscars fucked up again.
Ironically, the movie is about dementia and a man forgetting everything. So,
the whole show was actually the other hook of the show in terms of trying to produce it to make people interested. It was produced by Steven Soderbergh, of Ocean's fame, right?
Yep.
And so they kind of played up some of it as they filmed it odd. They kind of tried to play it like they were filming a movie in real time. It was a little strange. And so some of these decisions were done by probably him in an attempt to drum up some sort of drama or action or interesting story to tell. And then in this way, it backfired. And on the other hand, though, and I mean, you'll see it in the ratings themselves, which were down immensely.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Yes.
not only it was a year, it's the Oscars for a year in which no one could actually go to the movie theater. And it was an Oscars in a year where there was no clear-cut front runner of like, this is a juggernaut all-time like film to go see. There wasn't really like all the major categories were spread out amongst all the Best Picture nominees, really. Everybody kind of got their little piece of whatever, and they all kind of went home. And it was a weird show because it wasn't done at a theater. It was done at Union Station in LA. And because it's LA, it's the middle of the afternoon, so it's in daylight, and the whole thing was just so odd from start to finish because of the setting, because of the production, because of the content being honored, and it was just a weird, very unsatisfying Oscars production from start to finish.
Did Frances win for Nomadland as Best Actress?
Frances McDormand won for Best Actress, and she was a producer on the movie too. And then the director for the movie, Chloe Zhao, won for Best Director.
I don't know if you guys have seen. I'm sure you have, Zach. It's not a bad movie. I wouldn't.
No,
like
I actually hadn't seen it. So like normally every year, me and my girlfriend try to watch as many of the Oscar movies as we can, but it just came at a time when we were like moving, and none of the Oscar Best Picture nominees seem to be all that happy.
Oh no, Nomadland. If you want to be just downright fucking depressed, I highly recommend it.
Right. There's a lot of movies of just like breaking down depression, and like that's kind of, it's like, yeah, sure, that is exemplary of 2020. But because of all that, it's like I just didn't want to really dive into having to marathon these over a week or something like that. So
right. Nomadland. I mean, that's not terrible. It's depressing, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not like slit your wrist depressing or anything. It's just it's also got kind of a weird undertone of hope to it in a weird way. I know you got to watch it. It's a good movie. I recommend it. I haven't even finished it yet, but what I've seen of it's really good. The acting's great. I like David Strathairn. He plays one of the characters in it. He's always money in the bank to me, and he's really, really good in this, like he is in everything. Frances McDormand kills it. It's a good movie. It's worth watching, but not. You're not going to walk out of it going, yeah, the Avengers saved the world. Believe me, that's not.
Yeah. So the overall number drops from 2020, which was not a great year for the Oscars anyway. They went down. Nearly 14 million fewer people watched. It was a dip of almost 60%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like just nobody watched.
There's no reason. I mean, I think Zach's got a good point. No one went to the theaters. There's no real buzz.
Oh, sure.
Movies. It's just, what are you going to do?
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
like
if you're going to do a weird,
almost all the movies are available on streaming services in some way or another, either free or to buy. And so, right, but it's not the same. It certainly isn't the same, and it doesn't give you the same. There wasn't the same sort of build up to the ceremony, and it's out of season. It's at a weird time. It's all these depressing movies that no one got to see in theaters. So I understand why nobody gave a damn, like more so than usual.
I will be perfectly honest. I went to see Mortal Kombat on Friday, which was which was 2 weeks after I had got my second shot, so I was fully immunized, completely invincible, and
invincible.
And so I figured, you know what? I'm going to see it I'm going to see Mortal Kombat in theaters, and it was a fun time. And I'm sure I would have had a good time if I had watched it at home. But it's there is something to be said about watching it. Watching a movie, especially a movie like that, on the big screen. So,
well, imagine seeing, say, a Star Wars movie, one of the good ones, and the only way you've seen it is on your television set.
Or
even in this day and age with the big screen and and all that and the surround sound, it's just not the same experience.
Or another movie that's out right now, Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah,
like if you're not watching that movie on the big screen, you're just watching it wrong.
Yeah, yep. So I want to go back to Joaquin Phoenix for a minute. Can he stop with the "I'm too cool for school" shit already? I mean, honestly,
It's honestly the way he is. He's just a weird guy.
I get that, but
Look, everybody.
we get it that you're like not interested and you're just too cool for all of this. But when they ask you to come do an award show, at least kind of show up. You know, I don't know.
See,
He put on his tuxedo.
Everyone was getting tired of Joaquin Phoenix, but then he did Joker, and that made a shit ton of money, and everyone liked it. So now he's allowed to be weird again.
Okay, well, I be weird all you want. Just come on, give us not even me. I could give a fuck really, but I'm just saying that when you show up to the Oscars, don't act like it's like like you're looking at your watch going, "Fuck, I hope this is over with quick." You know what I mean? I didn't see it. It sure sounds like
I guarantee he didn't show up, but like 10 minutes before he was supposed to.
Right. I'm not saying you've got to, be all on board with the award for your art and all that, and artsy bullshit that a lot of these people like to call. But you know what? At least when you're there, respect the event, whether you agree with it or not. And I think that that's kind of silly sometimes too. But it's lost its allure to me over the years. But still, if they said, "Greg, come give an award out for the best motion picture adaptation of a podcast," I would go up and go, "This is fucking stupid."
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
That'd be great, right? but I mean, what I'm saying is like, I'm not telling you to go in there and kiss everybody's ass and all that, but just respect the invite, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. It just drives me nuts with him.
I mean, he was under obligation to show up and do that thing. I mean, I feel like he was there I'm trying to think what the right word is. He didn't want to be there.
He was there under protest.
Well, then stay home.
Right.
Really? Like I'm sure an actor that would be glad to be in that spot.
But the way the tradition works is the winner of last year comes and presents, and so he did. And like, if he didn't have a movie of his own to support, he was there simply as the obligation of winning the award the previous year.
Yeah, I know, but he's like that in everything he does. And
Yeah.
it's like I get it. There's an art to acting, but let's quit acting like we're painting the fucking Sistine Chapel every time we do a movie, okay? You're pretending to be someone else, dude. You're not that important. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe he had to take a shit and he just wanted to get off stage. He knew Anthony Hopkins wasn't there. He looked at the envelope and said, "Fuck me, I got to get up there." And I have about 4 minutes before I'm just going to shit my pants. And he gets up there and says, "Hey, Anthony Hopkins won.
He's not here. Bye."
Joker's got him go make boom boom.
That would be far more interesting to me. The short way of what I'm trying to say is just have a little fun. That's all.
Yeah, and there were still people that did like there were some, despite it being a terrible ceremony. Like the one thing that they did that was kind of nice was because they cut out all the faff, all the bits, except for one bit which was terrible until it all of a sudden wasn't. I'll explain that in a second, but they let the winners they didn't play off any of the winners' acceptance speeches. So some of them went on too long because they're not used to public speaking. And then there were other people like the guy who won for Best International Film, which I actually want to see. It's called Another Round. It's on Hulu. The guy got to talk about how when he was making this movie, or right before the movie was going to come out, his daughter died in a car crack. And he was able to like talk through the grief of that and say how film saved him and motivated him and brought him to this place to create this beautiful piece of art. It's like, that's very nice. You had stuff like Daniel Kaluuya, who won for Judas and the Black Messiah, which is one of the movies I did see, was very, very good. He was extremely good in it. He closed his speech he was just talking about how great it is to be up here and that he won and it's amazing. And he finished his speech by saying, "My mom and my dad, they had sex and I'm here. It's amazing." All right.
That is generally how it goes.
And then the best supporting actress was from Minari. She was this Korean woman, and she got to accept the award from Brad Pitt. So she was basically like up there shooting her shot with Brad Pitt.
I saw that. I saw her like saying she was going to rub all over him or something like that. I forget. Yeah. It was. There were moments, but then so the bit that went on badly until it didn't. They tried to do a thing of like, "Hey, we're gonna play a game. We're gonna play some music, and you got to say, was it Oscar nominated or wasn't it not?" And so they went to the people that were sitting there and like, "Hey, this and this and this," and then they got to Glenn Close and they played a song from Da Butt, if you know what that is. I do. And Glenn Close was like, "Wait a second,
is that Debut? And then she got up and did the dance for Debut, and it was like this bit that was going sideways was reeled back in by a off kilter Glenn Close. So that was fun.
He's always a good sport about things, Glenn Close.
Yeah,
as far as I can tell. Yeah, I didn't watch
Anyway.
a bit of it. I forgot it was even on. But like I said, I saw 2/3 of one movie that was nominated. That was it.
Yeah. Speaking of TV stuff, to drag us back to the world of sports, NBC out as NHL broadcaster. TNT going to take the second package along with ESPN next year.
TNT, NHL Nitro. Let's go.
It doesn't even count unless Shaq and Barkley are involved somehow. You gotta have it.
Well,
somehow.
Barkley likes hockey. Barkley actually likes hockey. He's shown up on NBC before when they do the Cup final to be like, "Yeah, man, I love hockey. It's great to be here. They're playing really well," or whatever.
Hockey's great. They score goals, and that's all I know about it. I love him. Him and Shaq fighting about hockey would be the best thing ever.
I need a segment of Charles Barkley. Just the Ducks are terrible, Kenny. They're leaving John Gibson out to dry.
I'm really liking what they're doing, Kenny. They got a lot of white people skating around in a figure eight out there.
Hey, Chuck, you should put me in net. I'd stop all the pucks because I'm so big.
Guy, they can put me in the net.
If Shaq isn't careful, Steve Yzerman might try to sign him to a goalie contract.
I'm so big that I'd go right across the front of the goal, Charles, and you know it. How many rings you got into it, Charles?
Well, yeah, for Shaq, it's the lustful whisper that his voice has kind of become now.
Hey, man, I'm just gonna go out there and yeah. Well, shut up, Chuck.
There was a video of him viral a couple weeks ago where he was in a jewelry store and this dude was paying off his engagement.
Yeah.
But that was it. And he didn't even want anybody to know about it. He does it all the time. I thought that was really cool.
Well, I'm looking forward to the inevitable NHL AEW crossover.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I don't know who in the NHL could challenge for the AEW World Championship.
Ryan Reeves, probably.
The correct answer is always Shaq, no matter what the question is.
Lord.
They're gonna get TNT is gonna get Cup Finals. There's some report that the Cup Finals may go to CBS, maybe. But the other thing that's in there is that HBO Max might be able to show hockey coverage because of their connection with Turner and Warner Brothers and all that sort of stuff.
HBO's in the same family of as TNT.
So we got ESPN and TNT now, basically.
Basically.
Yep. Yeah, it's what does the NHL think it is? The NBA?
All right. Or the 1980s with the NFL.
Look, all I'm going to say is in terms of American broadcasting, I'm actually very proud of the NHL. Look at them getting on ESPN and TNT. No more. Remember, and we all remember the OLN years.
You know what's going to be amazing? I'm going to be watching a nationally broadcasted television a hockey game, and the game's going to end, and the post game's going to end, and they're going to go to their next programming, and it won't be a car auction.
Friends reruns, but whatever.
It'll be Law and Order, or it'll be Sports Center. It'll be one of the two things. Yeah, and that's great. That's good. That's very good.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for the NHL. I mean, TNT's got way more coverage than MSNBC. MSNBC.
ESPN and TNT are on basic cable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as opposed to NBC, who was putting NHL Stanley Cup playoff games on
golf.
CNBC or the Golf Channel, where it's and then after the after this Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, you can stay tuned for financial advice.
Right. And believe me, and so because when you're a Blue Jackets fan, that's where you end up. You're out in the CNBC.
they stick you. Yeah.
I was right after the game tonight, Donnie Deutsch will tell you how to spend your money. It's oh, this is fun.
And it's not. It's not like playoff games are going to end up on True TV probably, but so does March Madness, and so does the MLB playoffs.
You've got the good.
When you get to the playoffs, you'll get TNT, TBS, and True TV, and people might make the same joke. But because there's legitimate sports properties that have already been shown on these things,
right?
It's not going to be that weird of a transition ultimately.
Not only that,
No,
TNT is a much better anchor network for you, even if you are branching off into their sister stations, whatever you call them.
And they're still splitting it with ESPN.
Yeah,
So it's,
and TNT's got way more cachet than NBC Sports will ever have, as far as like with the general public.
Well, I mean, NBC Sports is shutting down. That tells you how much cachet they have.
Yeah, right. Is the network completely going away?
after this year, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically stripping it for parts.
That was we had high hopes for FS1, right? That was when
FS1 was supposed to be the chosen one, and then they just signed Skip Bayless. So,
well, you know what? If you love NASCAR, FS1 does a pretty good job. Short of that, bowling too.
I mean, that's all they got, except for the occasional MLB game, right? So, and of course, Skip and Shannon yelling at each other.
Who gives a fuck about that?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I think it's a good move. ESPN and TNT, that's way better than where they were like this time 2 years ago. You know, as far as exposure goes.
Yeah.
ESPN though, that's gonna be. They're bringing back the music. That's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be great.
I am excited, and I know he's retired, but come on, at least bring Gary Thorne back for the Stanley Cup Finals or something. I don't know.
That'd be good, right? Yeah.
And I'm kind of
the All-Star game.
I'm kind of leaning one way into nostalgia with ESPN, and the other kind of like embrace the future, because I'm like, bring Gary Thorne back, but shoot Barry Melrose into the sun.
Poor Barry. Well, you know, and the thing too,
take Mike Milbury with him. Like,
oh god, yeah. But the thing with the ESPN is that now they're, you know, used to be before they had the contract, the NHL was a complete afterthought. They would barely, you might see a highlight or two here and there. Now they're going to actually cover it again, so that'll help too. I think. Good move. Dare I say, did the NHL make a smart move here?
Sure. Like I mean, and they're going to get plenty of money for it.
I mean, as they say, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day,
and the NHL is right twice a decade, whether they mean to be or not.
Yeah, there's no losers here. I mean, when Gary Bettman is involved, there are losers because he's a loser. But the NHL, I feel like, benefits greatly from this because, you know, TNT and TBS, these are channels, especially TNT, that people have become accustomed to just looking to see if sports is on, and if there's sports on, it's just going to stay on my TV. And if it's hockey, so be it. I think that a lot of people it'll benefit everybody. You know, I mean, I would think, but who knows? Hockey is kind of a fickle beast.
The carriage rates for TNT and ESPN are way, way higher than where they were at before, which is a big thing.
Yep.
While we're talking TV for a second, I don't know if you guys have, like, if your teams have switched over to the Bally Sports Network.
Yeah.
I am not. I mean, it's the same announcing team and all that, but I'm not a fan of the graphics at all.
Yeah. So I have the Angel game up right now. And the thing, like, I understand what they're doing. I understand the fact that, like, hey, why take up so much of the screen with two graphics, the bottom line and the score bug, when you can just put them together? It's like, that's not a terrible idea. However, there's still space below the score bug.
Yeah.
For what could be another ticker. And so it's just taking up too much space on the bottom. It feels very bottom heavy.
Yeah. And
I also don't like that the song is the same. Like, the intro song is the same no matter what sport's playing. So you kind of, it's just a Bally Sports game. You don't know what the hell it is. And for hockey, it's odd because the B, like the Bally Sports B, looks very similar to the Rawlings R.
Yep. And
you have a white center portion with diagonal red stripes on the ends. So it looks like a baseball when the graphics coming up, which is fine for the baseball game. It is not fine for the hockey game that is coming up, or the basketball game, or whatever. It's odd. And on top of that, they haven't all the mobile stuff, like the apps and the streaming apps, are still the Fox Sports apps and website. So you, like, there isn't a Bally Sports Go yet. I'm watching the Angel game right now on Fox Sports Go.
Yeah,
it's been kind of a lame rollout.
Yeah, I don't like the graphic. And then see, now I'm watching the Cubs and the Braves, and you've got the bottom line, the ticker, the score bug, and now they've put the batter's name over top of it, so it's taking up like a third of the screen. Which I just, no, there's a better way to do this. I don't know how you do it, but I don't like the two. I don't think it bugs me too, and I'm really going to get like way nitpicky here, but The outs when they have an out, they
Yeah.
black. It's like so you got to light them up so we know what the fuck's going on.
I have many a time been confused as to how many outs are in an inning.
Right, like right
And then
now
it just ends.
it's 2 outs, but it looks like there's no outs, so you don't
Right.
know. Anyway, I'm that was quite a.
Speaking of baseball, I have one last baseball question before we wrap up. So there was a big baseball event that happened over the weekend. A no-hitter was thrown by Madison Bumgarner
Yeah.
in the second half of a doubleheader, which means that it was only a 7-inning doubleheader. Does
Right.
it count?
No,
No. Yeah. No.
not
I
by
argue.
even by rule, it doesn't count now.
I argue it does.
It does.
Okay, let's fight.
Here's my point.
Okay.
If there are plenty of no hitters of varying lengths in MLB history,
All right, that's a fair point.
because if a guy has an 11-inning no hitter but they lose it in the 12th, that's not a no hitter. He threw more than the 9 innings, but that's not a no hitter because he gave up a hit eventually.
I'll give you a better.
You can only pitch as long as the game is scheduled to go.
I'm
The
gonna
game was scheduled to be a 7-inning game. He couldn't have thrown a 9-inning no hitter unless the game went longer than it was supposed to.
Hold on, I'm going to win your argument for you right here. If you go back, and they may have changed it since, but there was a guy named David Palmer that pitched a perfect game for 5 innings, and it was
Sure.
rain shortened and never got. It was they called it. It was like they had been long enough but the game was official. He's listed as what I don't know if he still is, but he at the time was given a perfect game. So. I guess it is a no hitter. I don't like this 7-inning bullshit for no hitters. Double headers. I don't get it, but whatever. At the end of the day, yeah. He threw 7 innings and no hit ball, and that's the end of the game. You're right. It's a no hitter. So sorry, Mike. I can't fight any better than that.
Oh,
Andy on Mike Trout here as much as I'd love to. Believe me.
Andy has passed on to the great beyond. His laptop,
His laptop
died.
just got Kyle Shanahan.
And just got yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is a no hitter. And you're right. There have been no hitters of varying lengths over the years. Some guys lose them after.
Hell, I was in person. I watched Jared Weaver throw an 8-inning no hitter and lose
Yeah,
to the Dodgers because the Angels lost the game 1-0 because of it was like a walk, a stolen base, and a sac fly or whatever.
yeah. I think I remember that game. Yeah,
And so the Angels, I was at Dodger Stadium, and the Angels were on the road, so they didn't get the chance. The Dodgers didn't have to hit again, but Jared Weaver didn't allow a hit, but still lost.
yeah. That seemed to happen a couple times over the past 15 years or so, maybe longer. But where you'd get a guy that would throw a no hitter and lose. Because a lot of times because he was shitty, he'd walk like 9 guys,
Right.
but sometimes it just happens. So yeah, the stickler in me wants to go, no, it wasn't 9 innings, but then you bring up a great point that there have been games that were, like I said, 5 innings.
Yeah.
Was a perfect game, and no hitters have been listed at 5-6 innings because of rain. I know they changed the rule. I think the stat rule a few years ago where it has to be a 9-inning game, but that's bullshit because come on. A game's a game, right? And like you said, if they make it past the 5th inning, you got a no hitter. That's technically a no hitter. If the game counts,
Yeah.
how else do you explain it?
I mean, that's one of the great things about baseball is that it's so irregular that it's like, standard games, 9 innings. Sometimes they're not, though. And that's why baseball's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like if the NBA said, okay, tonight's 3-pointers are going to be worth 5 points, but tomorrow they're going to go back to 3. It's kind of like
Because
just
for
because
reasons.
Yeah, just because we decided to. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Dennis brings up a good one. Irvin Santana threw a no hitter while giving up a run, and that
that was a very bad no hitter. I remember.
yeah, well, there was a guy for the Yankees named Andy Hawkins years ago that threw like the worst fucking no hitter. I mean, I think he won or did he even lose? Maybe I forget, but he gave up like 9 walks and errors. It was to call it a no hitter was an insult to anybody that's actually thrown a real no hitter, but it counted because he gave up no hits. He gave up fucking everything else, but not that. So yeah, I'm going to give Madison. Plus, I like Madison Bumgarner, so go ahead and give him the no hitter.
I mean, I don't, but that's okay.
Yeah. So,
I honestly have nothing against him. I'm sure he's a great guy. I've got no reason to dislike him. I don't like his face.
okay, fair enough. I like him because he can hit. I like pitchers that can hit because I'm an old school guy like that.
last thing to
Like,
kind of
not
send
that
us.
fucking hard. Oh, go ahead, Zach. What?
Oh no, I was just gonna say this. I was gonna try to send us out.
Okay,
if
send us out.
you're ready.
Yep.
We're doing the helmet draft next week, and as I was looking up information for my draft board, I just, for the sake of the show, I needed to see what the Omaha Beefs helmet looked like. And it's not good enough to be included high on any draft board. I don't think. It's black. It has their goofy steer logo with like a bee. It's not very good. But if we ever did football pants draft, this would have to be the number one selection going.
Whoa! You're telling me it beats out the time the Red Blacks put hashtag Red Blacks?
I mean, yes, because this one says beef down the leg.
Oh, look at that. Look at those beauties, huh? Let me try to share that real quick. Oh, shit. Let me see here. Share.
Oh, wow. It's not even in a good font. That is straight up Times New Roman.
Look at
Yeah,
there. Huh?
beef.
Can you see it?
Beef.
Yeah, that's nice, huh?
Yeah. Again, football pants draft, Omaha Beef, number one pick. Let's go.
All right, the helmet draft's going to be really tough, I think, because
It's very interesting. Yeah.
if we left the NFL as a part of it, it's a whole lot easier. But taking them out of just one pick, and there's some great picks. I mean, yeah, I was thinking about your Rams, Zach. The helmet prior to this one, that's going to go in somebody's first round. It's got to, right? I mean, nobody has to tip their hand or anything, but how's that not going to happen? How long do the Cowboys stay on the board? How long do the Packers stay on the board? The Eagles, the old
That's
Eagles.
the thing.
Yeah.
Like you got to make your one pick in each of these leagues. And like we said, some of these leagues are worse off than others, but like, if you think that you can, it's like we've talked about with the NFL draft earlier. If you can solidify your entire team with one pick, I think you got to do it.
Yeah, I agree. So it's going to be, and then you got the USFL with some really, really nice helmets in that league. Yeah.
And as a suggestion, I'm sure we can talk about this in our chat over the week, but bring photo evidence of your selection and why, because like some like with NFL helmets, CFL helmets we'll be able to find. If you can find a picture of some of these obscure helmets that you think is like amazing, because we're going to need it. Because describing it's not going to be.
Andy found that site, the helmet. I forget what it's called. The helmet something.
Helmet database, but like, I'm not sure how extensive it is.
Well, not only that, but they're all drawings. So it's kind of. I don't think you get a real idea of the helmet until you see it as a helmet. You know what I mean? So we'll picture evidence. Well, that's going to be a lot because we're going to have like our big boards and pictures and all that, but we'll make it work.
Oh my! The helmet database even has the China Arena Football League.
Oh shit! I got to see.
Oh wow, that might be a dark horse pick. Something from that.
They're all kind of lame, but
every league has maybe except for the WFL has that one helmet that you go, okay, that's a great helmet. Like
you know what, and this isn't necessarily tipping my hand at anything, but the Hawaiians helmet from the WFL, I dig it.
Yeah, well, I like the Birmingham Americans helmet, so that's
the Birmingham Americans have like a nice. It's like a generic football helmet, but in a good way. It's like
and you know what else? We could have a Birmingham franchise draft and probably go 4 rounds.
The kings of it's them in Orlando, right? It's like
exactly. You throw them in Orlando, and it's like, okay, with the first pick, I take the Orlando Renegades.
You could probably make an entire league out of just Birmingham and Orlando teams.
I bet you could, because Birmingham's got the Iron, the Americans, the Stallions, and I'm sure there's one other one in there. There's 3. You get 3 more.
Orlando's got the Rage, the Blazers,
Renegades. Don't forget that.
Renegades and our Apollos.
Right. So that's good enough to get started. Sure. I think the AFL started with that many, but yeah. So the helmet draft is going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Lest you forget the Birmingham Thunderbolts.
Okay, there you go. We got an 8-team league right out of the gate.
Right, yeah.
Of the original XFL.
The team that
did they have a Birmingham team in this latest XFL?
No, they did not.
Okay, well that's
no,
really
because the AAF put their team in Birmingham, and everyone thought they'd be in competition.
They blocked them out.
Everyone thought that, it's like, oh, we're gonna have the AAF versus XFL 2.0, and then and then the AAF died, and then the XFL died. So
I've got to say the AAF a dark horse for unique helmet designs.
You know what else?
I think all of our wild cards could come out of there. That's interesting.
The World League of American Football / NFL Europe's got some interesting designs too, which could really throw the balance. Yeah, but I think that obviously the NFL is the big person in the room, but I think the one that's really going to throw the balance is that USFL. There's some fine helmets in that league, really good stuff.
I'm looking at a few.
Yeah, me too. I'm really going back. It'll depend on what you pick, Mike. If you go in the first round or whatever, but
when it comes to the USFL, there's 2 runaway easy picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I know what we're all talking about.
Yep.
Then it's like, do you have to go for generic logo on helmet, or do you go for stripe, or what? But,
right.
As I'm scrolling through it, there are 2 runaways.
There are 2 that are
real
clear front runners, and that's going to make that could swing the whole draft. Whoever gets one of those 2, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, it'd be a good time. So we're going to do that. We're doing that live, right? Next Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
Monday.
We're going to do the helmet draft. So with that, boys, if we've got nothing else, we will call it a night. And
alrighty.
Remind everyone to subscribe via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever fine podcasting is sold. And every once in a while, we actually tweet at Basically Sports on Twitter. And with that, we will see you next week for the first annual Bass NFL Helmet Draft.
Adios.
See ya.